What's up, guys, and welcome back to another video and another edition of Sports Takeover. Hopefully everybody's having a great weekend. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and go ahead and smash that like button as well, guys. Now today, unfortunately, is a pretty sad day in the city of Indy. Obviously, my Colts got taken down yesterday by the Chiefs in Arrowhead. You know, for those of you that watched the game, you know that the Colts didn't really put up much of a fight at all. There wasn't a lot of effort offensively or defensively. It was really one of the worst showings that I've seen out of the Colts all year long. You know, one thing I do want people to keep in mind, though, is that although it might seem disappointing right now, you know, in the manner that, you know, the way that the Colts lost, they weren't supposed to be here this year. They were not supposed to be where they are right now. So although it is disappointing right now, keep in mind that, you know, just last year we were 4-12. You know, just last year we were coming into this year ranked number 32. That's dead last in the NFL. So, you know, there is a lot of upside and a lot of promise to the Colts. So I do want everybody to kind of keep that in mind, because we will be there next year and for years to come, just with the formula of offense and defense that we have. But today, it's a pretty popular topic. I wanted to kind of give my opinion on it, though, because I hear a lot of people going back and forth about this, and I feel like more people that are probably 18 and under favor one person, and more people 18 and over favor another person. But I do want to have the GOAT debate in the NBA. Who is the greatest of all time in the NBA? Now, for some people, it's kind of hard to tell. You know, you got a lot of different factors that go into it. You got championships, you got, you know, stats, you got, you know, just all kinds of things that you can kind of determine what makes a player great. But it seems like what everybody tends to go to is, who's the greatest player? Jordan or LeBron? Jordan or LeBron? Well, I'm going to give my opinion today, and we'll see how much it differs from you guys. Now, if you guys never watched Michael Jordan play, it's going to be a little bit hard to want to favor Jordan. If you're young enough to where you never got to watch him play and you've only seen LeBron, you're probably going to favor LeBron because obviously you've only seen him play and you've seen how great he's been. Now, if you're a little bit older, then you're going to you know, probably favor Jordan because you've seen both of them play and you've seen how much Jordan dominated versus what LeBron's been able to do. Now, I'm the age right now, I'm 29. I didn't really get to grow up watching Jordan play. When he was winning his titles in the early and late 90s, I was, you know, still around 10 years old or so. So I didn't really get to grow up watching it. But I have studied Jordan's game. I have studied all the teams he's played, the championships he's won, the opponents he's faced, and just how dominating of a player he's been. So, you know, don't get it twisted. I know everything about Jordan that you could possibly know, as well as LeBron. So that's why I felt like I had a good sense of being able to kind of put this video out there. In my opinion, it's not necessarily about who's the greatest of all time versus who's better between Jordan and LeBron, because I don't think you can really say who the greatest player of all time is, you know, because there is so many factors that go into it. You look at Jordan, he has 6 titles, but then you look at a guy like Bill Russell and he has 11. So technically, wouldn't that make him better? So that's why I don't really like saying who's the greatest of all time versus, you know, who's better between certain players. So in my opinion, we'll just kind of look at a couple different factors. You look at a guy like Michael Jordan, okay? Everybody considers him the best of all time. Now, you look at the obvious stats. 6-0 in the NBA Finals, 6 Finals MVPs, 6 NBA championships. He is a revolutionary, generational type of player. Coming out of North Carolina after winning a national championship there, he came into the league with so many expectations. You know, he got drafted 3rd overall to the Bulls, and you know, there were so many expectations put on him as soon as he came out of college, which is very similar to LeBron. Now, the difference with Jordan is that when he first came into the league, he was a lot smaller than LeBron, so I think that definitely gave LeBron a little bit of an edge. Obviously, when you come into the NBA from college, the body size and body type of different players is a lot bigger in the NBA. Now, Jordan was a little bit smaller at first, right? But I think with his speed and athleticism, that definitely gave him the edge on that side of things. The one thing I really hate is when people say that, well, LeBron, he's had to go up against Golden State and, the Spurs and teams like that. Well, look at who Jordan played when he was beating all these teams in the playoffs and getting all these titles. He went up against a 60-win Orlando team who had Shaquille O'Neal, Penny Hardaway, Dennis Scott, teams like that. He went up against Seattle Supersonics team who had Sean Kemp, Gary Payton. He was going up against the New York Knicks with Patrick Ewing, Starks. He was going up against all these teams. He went up against the Bad Boy Pistons with Isaiah and Bill Laimbeer and all these guys, and going up against Larry Bird. And there's so many different good teams who have Hall of Fame type players that he went up against and beat, right? There's no easy way to get through the playoffs. Now, I feel like when you look at LeBron, he's had a lot easier of a path to get through the playoffs and into the NBA Finals. So when you say that he's been to the finals the last 8 years in a row, nobody's ever done that, which I understand is completely awesome. He hasn't had as much talent to get through in the East as Jordan once did. I swear to you, look back on the teams that Jordan played and you will realize how much of a difference there is in that category right there. Now, a lot of other people will say, well, LeBron's a better passer and rebounder than Jordan. Just look at his stats. Well, that might be true, but at the same time, Jordan's defense that he played in the game, he was one of the best defensive players, if not the best defensive player, every single year in the NBA. So, you got to look at stuff like that, man. You got to look at, not only was he a scoring title champion all the time, he was the best defensive player all the time. He was still putting up anywhere from 5 to 7 rebounds and assists, per game per year, as well as his steals and blocks and everything that he did on the defensive end. So Jordan really revolutionized what it was to be an all-around player, and I don't think a lot of people really give him the credit for that. I think they just look at him being able to jump really high and score a lot of points, and they don't look at the other things that he did in his game that helped his teammates and made his other teammates better. Now, obviously, when you look at a guy like LeBron coming out of St. Vincent St. Mary, the #1 overall pick, I remember watching him in high school, man. They had a high school game of his televised on ESPN on a Friday night. I remember watching him, getting all this hype around him, and coming into the game, he was projected as the #1 overall pick. I remember Jay Billis on the sideline saying he was the best high school player he's ever seen before. And I remember watching him just thinking, wow, this guy, he's special. He's going to be really good. Coming into the league drafted by the Cavs #1 overall and everything. Watching his first game against Sacramento where he had like 25 points and 9 assists, something ridiculous like that. You knew right away he was going to be amazing. Now, one of the big differences between Jordan and LeBron is that Jordan didn't play as long as LeBron. So when you think of Jordan getting passed by LeBron eventually on the scoring list, it doesn't really impress me as much, to be honest, because LeBron has played more seasons and will play a lot more seasons than him. At the same time, the longevity of LeBron definitely impresses me quite a bit. He's in his 16th season right now. He's setting the new standard on how long you're able to play as a pro athlete in the NBA, kind of like Tom Brady in the NFL right now. So that's definitely impressive. But LeBron, I do give him the credit that he is a way better passer and distributor than Jordan ever was. I think his vision on the court definitely gives him the edge there. His ability to read defenses and be able to kind of make switches with big guys in pick and roll situations and take advantage of the situations that he has on the court, because he sees that and he's able to change who's guarding him in certain plays. I think that's something that not a lot of people talk about as well. Now, LeBron's defense is, I should say, was at an all-time high when he was with the Heat. I think those were probably his best defensive years when he was playing with D-Wade and Bosh. So I'm not saying LeBron's a bad defensive player whatsoever. I'm just saying that, you know, there's definitely plays that he takes off. There's, you know, effort that's not put forth all the time. And I just don't remember ever seeing that with Jordan, man. I don't remember ever being like, wow, Jordan just took that play off. So that's kind of an edge for Jordan. Now, another thing too is that Jordan had that killer mentality. He wanted to, you know, dunk on you every play. He wanted to shove it down your throat. He wanted to absolutely annihilate you and your whole team, and he was going to tell you about it. That's one thing I really loved about Jordan. LeBron doesn't really have that mentality about him. Now, yes, he's, you know, shown what he can do in the finals, and he's shown what he can do on the biggest stage, and, you know, we see all the stats and everything that he can put up, but I don't feel like he has that same killer mentality to where, you know, give me the ball, I'm going to take over this game, and I'm going to yell in your face and tell you that we just won. You know what I mean? So that's kind of the bigger difference with Jordan that I kind of give him the edge on. And I think as a leader, that's something that you need. I think that kind of amps up the other guys on your team and kind of gets them in a state of mind of, okay, yeah, we need to step up our game. I mean, look at what our leader's doing. So that's definitely an edge for Jordan. You know, really what separates me though, guys, is the 3-5 record in the finals for LeBron and 6-0 versus Jordan. I mean, there's not really anything else you really need to say about that. Because like I said before, you cannot say that LeBron has played better teams in the playoffs or the finals. He just hasn't. He just hasn't. Jordan had all-time teams that he was playing against when he was in the finals. You know, Stockton and Malone 2 years in a row. All the teams I mentioned before. I mean, he wasn't playing scrubs. So the fact that he was able to go 6-0 with 6 finals MVPs and LeBron is 3-5. I mean, the biggest stage comes around, man, and you've lost 5 times. Now, if LeBron was, you know, something like 6-2 or 7-1, we'd be having a completely different debate and conversation right now, but it's just simply not the case. So, all in all, I'm going to have to give the edge to Jordan. I don't think really there's anything in LeBron's career that he could do that would be able to pass Jordan, to be honest with you. I don't care if he wins 2 more titles in LA. It's just not, it's not going to do it for me. You know, not only that, but kind of a side fact, you know, the fact that he's had to build these teams in order to go up against other teams in the NBA, you know, going to Miami with Bosh and Wade and building these teams in Cleveland and, you know, just asking for players to be traded and to be signed, and it's just not anything that Jordan ever did. So I give Jordan credit that the fact that he didn't ever ask for somebody to be on his team or go jump ship to, you know, try to beat a better team. He always stayed where he was, and he did it with the players that he was dealt with, which I give him a ton of respect for. So that's my opinion on it, guys. I think Jordan has definitely got the edge. Let me know down in the comment. The comment question of the day is going to be, who do you guys think is better between LeBron and Jordan? Let me know what you guys think. Again, make sure to drop a like on this video, hit the subscribe button. Yeah, it's been awesome, guys.